Have you ever been baffled when a woman who was close suddenly grows distant? Yesterday you laughed together and drew plans for the future. Today her replies are irregular, her energy is shifted, and you sit there wondering, what did I do wrong? The truth is that many times the problem doesn't lie in you, but in how you respond. Most men chase, explain, and pull. And in doing so, they slowly trade self-respect for desperation. On the path of emotional growth, those moments when she pulls back are tests of your steadiness.
Ow.
Stoicism teaches that true strength begins in stillness. Epictetus once said, "Every situation has two handles. One leads to chaos, one leads to calm. Choose the handle of calm." When you are left alone with spiraling thoughts, your ego demands answers, and your emotions demand soothing. Yet a disciplined man pauses, breathes, and sits with that discomfort. He understands that reacting too quickly is like pouring gasoline. On a small fire, small hesitation can turn into a retreat if you add panic to it. Imagine holding water in your palm. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips away. Feelings are like that. When she pulls back, tightening your grip only makes things worse. Stoic philosophy reminds us to focus on what's within reach: our attitude, our responses, and our own discipline. You cannot decide the distance, the silence, or her mood swings, but you can decide whether you remain calm. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not over external events." That means letting life unfold rather than forcing it. Traction like a flame needs space to breathe. Try to smother it, and it dies. So when faced with her retreat, don't let fear or insecurity lead you. Lead yourself. Go for a walk, train your body, journal your feelings, or talk to a trusted friend. Give yourself time to process so you can respond as a man on his way to maturity rather than react like the boy you used to be. When you practice this pause, you'll notice clarity replacing chaos. You'll start to see the situation for what it is, not just how it feels. Sometimes she needs space. Sometimes life is heavy on her shoulders. And yes, sometimes interest fades. But whatever the reason, chasing never fixes it. Remember, your job is not to control another person. Your job is to master yourself. That is where real power lives. This is the first step of the Stoic journey in love. Breathe, observe, and choose. Calm before you act. If this resonates with you, leave a comment below or simply type ichoose.com to let me know you're walking this path alongside me. Once you've learned to pause and breathe, the next step is to examine your own energy. Sometimes her distance is nothing more than a mirror reflecting a change in you. In the beginning, you were focused on your work, your health, your goals. You had a clear mission, and that energy was magnetic. Then slowly, you started orbiting around her mood-skipping workouts to answer messages. Canceling plans to be available, dissecting every emoji. She senses that shift, even if you never say a word, and her instinct is to pull back. Seneca reminds us, no man is free if he is not master of himself. When you make her the center of your universe, you hand away both freedom and self-respect. Stoicism encourages us to check our own energy before scrutinizing anyone else's behavior. When she reduces her interaction, don't panic. Ask yourself, am I still living with discipline and purpose? Or have I poured all my attention into insecurity? If you find you've drifted off course, return to your routine. Hit the gym. Learn something new. Work on your projects. See your friends. Not to play silent games, but to remind yourself that your power lives inside you, not in someone else's response. Women are intuitive creatures. They pick up on the subtle difference between a man who is rooted in his own life and a man who starts orbiting their mood. When she senses that you've shifted from purpose to pursuit, the energy no longer feels steady, and distance is often the natural reaction. This isn't cruelty, it's feedback. Setting boundaries isn't about controlling her, it's about guiding yourself. That might mean not responding instantly to every ping, keeping your workout regardless of who texts, or putting your phone away when you're working. These small actions send a signal. You respect your own time and won't be dragged around by external moods. Epictetus taught, a person swayed by circumstances is like a child with a balloon. When the wind blows, the balloon drifts. But the steady man is a mountain. No matter the wind, he stands firm. When you return to your calm center, something shifts again. Your grounded energy becomes a lighthouse in the dark. She may not say it, but women notice when a man is anchored in his own life rather than orbiting theirs. That kind of presence is attractive because it signals self-respect, focus, and direction. Whether she comes back or not, you remain steady because you've chosen discipline over desperation. So before you overanalyze your distance, tune into your own frequency. The real question isn't why is she pulling away. Am I still the man I promised myself I'd become? This speaks to you? Pause right now and reflect on where you need to re-enter your energy. Drop a comment or simply type patience over panic so I know you're walking this path with me. Silence is the next test. When a conversation falls into a lull, many men panic and rush to fill it with nervous jokes, apologies, or meaningless chatter because they're afraid of losing her attention. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, be content. To seem what you are, calm man leans back, sips his coffee, and lets the silence do its work. He knows his value isn't hanging in the balance of a few quiet seconds. The same applies when she goes. It's quiet in life. Fewer messages, less sharing. That is not your cue to become an actor in her drama. It's an invitation to return to your own stillness. Stoicism teaches that we don't control other people. We only control our reactions. Instead of filling the space with anxiety, let both of you breathe. Sometimes the gap is exactly what makes her reflect, and it certainly gives. You have a chance to understand yourself better. Ask yourself in those moments, why am I so uncomfortable with silence? Where have I been placing my worth? More importantly, don't let someone else's mood become the compass for your journey, Seneca said. If a man does not know to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. Without a mission of your own, you'll be swept away by every emotional wave. Today she is warm, so you're joyful. Tomorrow she is cold and you crumble. A Stoic man moves differently. He keeps training, reading, and building his work, whether others are near or far. He knows the storm in her heart is not his to weather. His horizon is his own purpose, not her mood swings. Picture yourself climbing a mountain with someone beside you. Halfway up, she stops and sits down. You have two options. Stop and plead with her to keep going, or keep climbing. If she wants to walk with you, she'll get up and catch up. If not, you won't be stranded halfway. When you hold your pace, your steady energy becomes a mirror. She may wonder why you're not swayed by her fluctuations, and that very steadiness is what makes you attractive. Steady energy is like a lighthouse on the shore. Storms may rage, but the light still shines. She will either draw closer to that light or go her own way, but either way you remain anchored. So don't rush to fill silence. Own it. Don't postpone your mission because someone else's mood has shifted. Healthy love is to people walking side by side on their own paths, not one person dragging the other. When you stay firmly on your path, you give her the freedom to choose. And you give yourself the greatest freedom of all, the right to live true to yourself. If this truth resonates, let me know in the comments. Share a story about a time you reclaimed your mission, or simply type, I own my mission, so other men see they're not alone. Distance often carries more lessons than we expect. It doesn't just signal the state of a relationship. It reflects your inner state. When she needs space, many men panic, flood her inbox, and hand over the keys to their peace. Reminds us, you have power over your mind, not external events. Not every mood swing or delayed reply deserves a passport into your mental fortress. Your inner peace is a fortress, not a public park. Guarding that space means responding rather than reacting. If she circles back after a stretch of silence, you don't need to leap like a child offered candy or draft 3 paragraphs to prove your worth. Take a breath, watch your feelings, and choose your reply deliberately. Epictetus taught, it's not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of things. Her message is just data, not a rescue boat. You can answer after. You finish your work or even choose not to if this emotional game no longer serves you. It's not about being aloof. It's about steering the pace of your own life. Picture two men receiving the same message. I need some space right now. One sends paragraphs trying to convince her not to leave. The other breathes and returns to his day. One leaks his power. The other keeps his center. Which response feels steadier to you? That steadiness is magnetic. Distance also serves as a mirror. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. When you notice you're checking your phone more than your priorities, take that as a sign to come back to yourself. The gap might reveal that you've drifted from your mission or leaned too heavily on someone else's validation. Use it too. Remind yourself that your worth does not live in her reaction. Finally, be willing to let go. Amor fati, love your fate, is a Stoic mantra echoed by Seneca. Not everything falls under your control. Some people step back because they're confused, because they're on their own journey, or simply because your paths no longer align. The tighter you squeeze, the more the sand slips through your fingers. Letting go isn't weakness. It's choosing peace over chaos. If she returns one day, greet her with calm. If she doesn't, you still win because you refuse to betray yourself just to keep someone close. Whether she comes back, stays distant, or leaves for good, your mission stays the same. Guard your peace, stay on your path, and become the man who isn't shaken by another's mood. In the end, what matters isn't controlling her distance, it's directing your own course. If you've ever held on too tightly and then learned to let go, share your experience below or simply write. Calm is my power to affirm that you choose inner strength over external chaos.